What's going on, everybody? Ronnie DiMaggio here, product specialist at BMW of Morristown, and in today's video we are going to be talking about a very interesting, very special feature on the 2023 7 Series, and that is, of course, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail of this video, the theater screen. So the theater screen is the option that everybody's talking about. It's the option that all the TikToks and the Instagram posts are about with the 23 7 Series. That is the theater screen. So the theater screen is a 31-inch TV screen, basically, that deploys from the roof in your 7 Series. It's on a set of rails, which we'll show you, and it folds down as you wish from the roof, and obviously it folds up flush so it doesn't obstruct the rear view mirror when nobody's watching it. But we'll get into all that stuff, everything about the theater screen in this video. We will, of course, show you how it folds up and down from the roof, what it looks like when you're sitting in the back seat as a passenger, all that good stuff about the theater screen. Now, quick disclaimer, this car, being a dealer inventory vehicle, is not currently linked to the personal eSIM that is required to actually stream movies and whatnot, so we can't actually watch a movie or a YouTube video on our theater screen because the car hasn't been delivered to a customer and therefore hooked up to eSIM yet. But what we can do is show you everything else. There's still quite a bit to go over without actually activating the eSIM and watching the movie, so we'll do all that stuff and show it to you here today in this video. So let's go ahead and hop in the back seat and we'll get started. Alright, so here we are at the back of our 23 760. Let's go ahead and pop that door open with our automatic door, which opens up for us. That is an a la carte option, the automatic doors, or you can get it as part of the executive package. But anyway, here we are in the back, and there you can see on the roof our BMW theater screen. So obviously the theater screen is currently in its folded position. Hopefully you can see it okay up there on the ceiling. And we'll hop inside and fold it down so we can see what it looks like when we're actually engaging the theater screen with it in its, viewing position in theater mode. Let's take a quick closer look at the rails that it sits on for those that may be curious about that. So they are integrated right underneath the sunshade here. Does not affect your sunroof functionality at all. Your sunroof shade can still open and close as you would like to let some natural light in, but those are the rails, and of course this is the screen. So let's go ahead and get into the controls, how it's folded down and up, and some more details on the theater screen. Alright, so in the back of the 7 Series, each door has its own little controller on the side here. This is how you control a lot of the rear seat functions, such as radio, climate, things like that. But it's, of course, also how you're going to end up controlling your theater screen. So the way these work are pretty simple, just like a phone. You can swipe up to unlock, and here you have your main menu of items that you can select and play with and go through to control your rear seat experience in the 23 7 Series. So we can run through these really quickly. You have your seat menu. If you tap on this, it brings up your seat adjustment. You can go to massage, climate for heating and things like that. You can also go to your blinds menu. If you want to roll up and down the shades, you can just tap on whichever shade you'd like, rolled up or down, and they will, of course, obey your command. You can also open and close all. Let's go actually to close all, so we have a little bit better lighting in here, a little less glare. You can go to My Modes if you want to adjust not just the drive mode anymore in the 7 Series, but the actual mode in the rear seat that affects ambient lighting, temperature, things like that. Obviously, you can see there we have theater mode. That's one way to fold down the theater screen. That will engage the sun blinds as well. We can also go through here to telephone. If you had a phone hooked up, you could go in here, dial your numbers, access your contacts, things like that. And then finally, at the top, you have your media and radio if you wanted to change the radio station, adjust the volume, things like that. So now you'll notice I skipped one. I skipped the display option here because that is the cool one with the theater screen. So you can see, if I can get the camera to focus here, when we click on display, you have the option to fold down via theater mode or just fold down. So the difference is, if you fold down via theater mode, it will also engage the sun blinds to give you kind of maximum theater experience in the back of the 7 Series. whereas if you just fold down, it'll just fold it down regardless. Although the rear sun blind in the back here will always be up when the screen is down. That is just by default. There's no way to circumvent that because you don't want the people that are driving behind you on the highway watching your movie and rear-ending you. So that's a safety feature that BMW pretty prudently implemented. The other option here is the touch command. This just allows you to adjust the brightness of this actual display that we're toggling here. So let's go ahead and go to Theater, and I'll click Fold Down, and we see the screen starts moving. It does its little startup animation here. Tough to get it all in frame, but you can see there is the theater screen fully active. So what it did was it slid down these tracks a little bit, pushed itself back a little, and then obviously sort of deployed itself. So here is the screen, 31 inches. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that the aspect ratio is a little bit weird for watching movies because the movies will be letterboxed or stretched out a little bit too much. But the idea behind that was you can have a movie playing on, say, only this portion of the screen, so that you can have either one passenger. If just I were watching a movie, for example, I could have it, you know, from here over on this part of the screen, or on that side if it's somebody over on the driver's side of the car, or you can have it right in the middle where that choose your language menu is, so that both people can watch the movie at once. So something that some people may not be familiar with the theater screen is that it's actually a touchscreen. So you can go in here and touch what it is that you want to control. It's going to say checking for updates via Fire TV, and then it's unfortunately not going to find any updates because we don't have our eSIM hooked up. But it is a touchscreen, so you can choose your language, let the Fire TV do its thing, checking for updates, and eventually it'll say you're offline, which we're expecting. We know that, but it still lets us see kind of what the theater screen looks like when it is down, how it works on those tracks and whatnot. Please forgive the camera focusing there. We're working with some new equipment, still learning as we go. But there you go, it says you're offline, make sure you're logged in, eSIM is configured, and roaming is enabled, so on and so forth. But anyway, you still get an idea of what the theater screen actually looks like when it's folded down, how the touchscreen works. Another thing you can do is when the theater screen is actually functional, watching movies and whatnot, you can tap on this little guy right here, and this is your remote for the theater screen. So this is how you would pause or fast forward your movies, depending on what program you're using. So for example, YouTube and Amazon, like Prime Video, will work a little bit differently as far as actually controlling it. But you can use the controller on either side of the screen if you want it on the left or the right. And then of course, you'll still have the option of using your touchpad down here to control the screen and whatnot. If we were watching something, we would get some controls for like our Fire TV, for example, just like this. So pretty much the same thing. You can skip forward, jump to home on your Fire TV, pull up a keyboard if you wanted to input some text to search or something like that. So you have some controls on the door as well. Now, the theater screen's primary use is going to be with Fire TV, with that eSIM and streaming, streaming services, movies, YouTube, TV shows, things like that. But the theater screen also has, and we're going to do our best to show this to you, an HDMI input. So if we look at the bottom side of the screen here, you can see we have an HDMI input as well as just a standard USB-C input. So if you would like to, you can plug in your computer, something like that, and stream that way as well. So you don't technically have to set up the eSIM. If you do plug in a computer, you can get your movies and whatnot from the computer, or you could plug in an Xbox, play video games, PlayStation, whatever you want back here as well. So lots of options with the theater screen. Now, a couple little details that I want to talk about. This particular car does not have the rear executive lounge, so I don't have the footrest down here or the extendable thigh support for this seat, but some cars have an option where this front passenger seat can move all the way forward and give you a lounge experience in the back. Like I said, this particular car not equipped with that, but that is an option. And otherwise, this car is equipped with a theater screen and the multi-function kind of rear luxury seating package, which gives you the heated and ventilated rear seats, as well as massage for your rear seats. So nice options in this one. Not totally specced out with the rear executive lounge package, excuse me, but it does have the theater screen. That's the big hot ticket item. So hopefully that gave you guys a good idea of just what the theater screen looks like. Like I said, unfortunately can't do much more than what we've done already as far as demoing the theater screen, but at least I hope we were able to give you a little sneak peek at what the theater screen looks like when it's down, going up and down and whatnot, if you haven't already seen that. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and fold the screen up. So I'll click on display down here, click on the screen, and I'll click fold up. And you can see it just kind of whirs itself back into place, slides back, and shuts off. And now the interior is opened back up like usual, and your screen is in its upright position. But that's going to do it for our quick little demo of the theater screen. So let's hop outside and we'll wrap up. All right, so that's going to do it for our quick demo of the theater screen. Like I said, hopefully that gave you guys an idea of what the screen looks like, how it interacts with the roof, folds up and down, how it's controlled with that touch panel on the right or the left side, doors, all of those little details. If we get a car that is actually hooked up to eSIM, we will be sure to at least post a YouTube short of what it looks like, actually watching content on the theater screen. So look forward to that content in the future. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel if you think we deserved it. Please browse the channel, check out some other videos, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at BMW of Morristown. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.